So we continue with metallurgy, and now we are going to start with the extraction of aluminum in case of metallurgy. So we can see that the first thing is the summary what they are given over here in case of a summary. Or I'll do one thing, it is better that I go through these steps once and then we can go to the summary, so that it is more understanding. Okay, it's more easy to understand. In fact, they are given the extraction later on also. So anyway, so firstly, we can see that, so we skip this particular, or we'll just read out very quickly the summary. Dressing of the ore, concentration of ore, separation of impurities. That is, ore used is bauxite. Okay, the ore used is bauxite, that is hydrated aluminum oxide, Al2O3.2H2O. Method used is chemical method using concentrated solution of NaOH. So we are using chemical method for concentration of the ore. Process used is called as Bayer's process. Conversion is from impure bauxite into pure alumina, Al2O3. So the reactions which are there will be amphoteric oxide with base will give you salt plus water, and on further the hydrolytic salt, what is going to be hydrolysis से जो salt मिलेगा, we are going to heat it to give you again soluble oxide plus aluminum oxide, hydroxide. And this aluminum, the insoluble hydroxide on burning will give you alumina, that is Al2O3. So this is how we are getting the Al2O3 by Bayer's process. We will give in details later on. Conversion of the concentrated ore. So this step is not necessary because you are already having it in the O2 form. So just by the chemical leaching what you have done, so that is the chemical method what you have done, Bayer's process you have done, you are already reached a point where you have got the oxide of the ore. And the third step will be reduction of the metallic oxides. Now we know very well that aluminum oxide is something which cannot be easily be reduced, and that's why we need to use electrolysis. Now the electrolysis which we are going to use, we are going to use electrolysis, and the process which we are going to use is Hall-Heroult process. We are going to go in details about the Hall-Heroult process, wherein the conversion of pure alumina will be converted into pure aluminum at the cathode, and the reaction will be electrolytic reduction of pure alumina. Electrolyte which will be used will be fused aluminum Al2O3 with combination of cryolite Na3AlF6 and fluorspar CF2. The cryolite and fluorspar act as a solvent for fused alumina. They also lower the fusion melting point of the mixture and increase the conductivity of the electrolytic mixture. Electrodes which are used are inert graphite or carbon electrodes, and the reaction on the electrolysis of fused alumina, the product formed are cathode पे pure aluminum and anode पे oxygen gas. So C plus CO2 may also be evolved due to the formation oxidation of the carbon anode. And electrorefining for pure metal will be step not necessary, since metal extracted by the electrolysis are already deposited on the cathode in the pure state. In case alumina about 99.5% is obtained, it is further refined by a process which is carried out, which is called as Hope's process, which gives you 99.9% purity if required. So now let's go through the different processes stage wise which are required for the formation of the extraction of aluminum. So the first step is the ores of aluminum. First is the main ore is bauxite. Bauxite is the main ore which is used for the extraction of aluminum. It is nothing but hydrated aluminum oxide Al2O3.2H2O. The other kind of ores which can be used as cryolite, the sodium aluminum fluoride, and corundum, which is aluminum oxide. Aluminum is the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust, about 7.4% of the mass, followed by iron 4.7%. Aluminum does not occur in the free state since it is a reactive metal. Since it is a reactive metal, normally it will always be in the form of an oxides or a hydroxide or kuch na kuch milega. It will never be in the form of pure form. So first thing is dressing or concentration of ore by chemical method known as Bayer's process. So we have got over here, first thing is Bayer's process. See, the Bayer's process, what we actually do is use the impure bauxite ore and add NaOH to it. So the reaction goes this way: Al2O3.2H2O plus 2NaOH will give me, and this is going to be done at a temperature of 150 degrees to 200 degrees Celsius, and it will going to give me 2NaAlO2 plus H2O. Okay, this is 3H2O. Now why would this happen? Yes, amphoteric substance. Aluminium is an amphoteric substance. That's why aluminum oxide reacts with the base. It's an oxide. Actually, it will be a base, but amphoteric base reacts with a base to give you salt plus water. So you get an aluminate. Okay, you get sodium aluminate over here with water, salt plus water. So it is, this amphoteric means acidic form with base. Acid plus base gives salt plus water. This is the amphoteric oxide plus base gives you salt plus water. So the function of sodium oxide, hydroxide, caustic alkali is, bauxite is reacted with concentrated solution of NaOH under pressure for 2 hours at a first step in obtaining pure Al2O3. The impurity present in bauxite, mainly Fe2O3 and SiO2, remain unaffected with concentrated NaOH since impurities are not amphoteric. So this is the main idea. The idea over here is that this particular part contains lots of impurities like iron oxide, silica oxide. Now this one, silica, so these are the ones which are not amphoteric in nature, and because they are not amphoteric in nature, they are not going to dissolve in NaOH. Okay, they are not going to dissolve in NaOH, whereas this is going to form NaAlO2, which is a soluble salt. So you are able to get a soluble salt of the aluminate, whereas the impurities are insoluble and can easily be filtered out. So you see that the bauxite being amphoteric reacts with the base forming salt, sodium aluminate and water, hence impurities are separated out. Therefore, caustic alkali is used to bauxite ore during purification of bauxite. This could be a very important give reason question, that why is NaOH used in the purification or the concentration of the ore in the Bayer's process. So you need to write over here these points, that bauxite, first of all, it is going to be react with NaOH because it is amphoteric in nature, it reacts with it to give you salt plus water, whereas impurities which are there, they are not amphoteric in nature, that's why they will not be soluble and will be left out. So bauxite is this is the main reason where NaOH is required. Now comes the next step. So now what we have got is NaAlO2. That's sodium aluminate. So this, and water is also there. So this NaAlO2 plus 2H2O, this we are going to heat at a lower temperature, just 50 degrees Celsius. And on doing so, 50 to 60 degrees Celsius, so 50 to 60 degrees Celsius, on doing so, this is going to get decomposed and form into NaOH plus Al2O3. Sorry, AlOH thrice. Now the moment you do this, what happens is you are going to get a precipitate of AlOH thrice. Okay. Over here, this salt, when it heated, it is going to form NaOH plus AlOH thrice, which is going to precipitate down. So NaAlO2 is diluted with water and crystals of AlOH thrice are added to it to further precipitate out NaAlOH thrice, a process called seeding. So here you are using certain quantity of AlOH thrice so that you are seeding, you know, there is something like seeding, यानी क्या हम लोग crystallization formation करने के लिए हम लोग उसको थोड़ा एक धक्का देते हैं, like a catalyst के, it is going to help you to produce AlO2OH thrice from this part using this as a seed. After agitation, the insoluble AlOH thrice is filtered out and dried. So now what we have got is from NaAlO2 bauxite, we have got AlOH thrice in a dried crystalline form. So then what we do is we are going to heat this at 1100 degrees Celsius. So it is going to be 2AlOH thrice on heating to 1100 degrees Celsius. It is going to give me Al2O3 plus H2O. So this is what is going to be given to me, whereas this will be the vapors and this will be pure alumina. So what we get is pure alumina without any impurities. So it is only aluminum and oxygen present over here. It is the oxide of aluminum present in the purest form available after the concentration of the ore. So this gives me pure alumina. The precipitated AHO is ignited to give pure alumina Al2O3. Of course, there is an alternative method to this, and that is the dressing of the ore by Hall's process, removal of impurities, that is conversion of impure bauxite into sodium aluminate by heating with sodium carbonate. So you are taking Al2O3.2H2O plus Na2CO3 with heat to give NaAlO2 plus O2 plus H2O plus CO2, and passage of the carbon dioxide into sodium aluminate solution, resulting in the precipitation of AlOH thrice, because Na now, see for here again the process is the same. You are getting this aluminate, and that aluminate is going to react with the carbon dioxide which is already present over there from the carbonate, and it is going to form into sodium carbonate and AlOH thrice. And then of course AlOH thrice को 1100 degree पे heat करो, you get Al2O3 plus water. Now the next step is to concentrate the ore. या ड्रेसिंग ऑफ द ओर हो गया, कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ओर. पर क्या कॉन्सेंट्रेशन हम लोग क्यों करते हैं? टू गेट द ऑक्साइड ऑफ द ओर, बट यू ऑलरेडी गॉट द ऑक्साइड ऑफ द ओर, सो दैट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. सो एल्यूमिनियम के एक्सट्रैक्शन में द थर्ड पार्ट, दैट इज कन्वर्जन ऑफ कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड ओर इनटू इट्स ऑक्साइड, इज एलिमिनेटेड बिकॉज इट इज ऑलरेडी इन द फॉर्म. Now comes the most important part, and that is called as the reduction of metallic oxide into its metal, and that is by electrolytic reduction. Electrolytic, that is metallic oxide, that is called as electrolytic reduction by Hall-Herold's process. Okay, so let's take that thing. So what we have is the Hall-Herold's process. Okay. So here what we are doing is we are actually doing electro refining. It is going to be electrolysis only. So the figure goes this way, that there will be a tank. Okay, there is a tank which has got an opening at the bottom for removal of the aluminum, and so this is a tank like this, walled tank. Now in this over here are the different anodes. So anodes are placed over here. So these are the anodes which are placed inside. The anodes are made up of graphite, carbon. Okay, so there will be carbon rods. Okay, so this is carbon rods. And what they've done is that the cathode is the lining over here. There will be carbon lining on the sides of this particular tank, which acts as the cathode. So the cathode is the tank itself. So we can see that this are anode, that is carbon rod, and this is the cathode, which is nothing but gas carbon lining. So it is gas carbon lining. Okay, so the electricity will be connected in this way. These are the anode which are connected together. These are the positive terminals to connected to the positive terminals of the battery. So the positive terminal battery, and then the negative terminal, you are going to put a bulb in between, so to identify that the reaction is taking, or sorry, the bulb will be on positive side. So there will be a bulb in between and a switch over here and then there will be this connected to the cathode. So this is how the connection is made. Inside over here will be the electrolyte. So there will be electrolyte which is going to be filled inside, such that the aluminum is going to be coming up at the end over here. This is nothing but the Al, aluminum, okay, which is going to be in the form. Now the electrolyte which is over here, this is the electrolyte. Now electrolyte will be a combination of three things. So the three things which are there are is Al2O3 is our own, वही अपना hero. Al2O3 alumina, pure alumina, plus Na3Alf6, that is craolite, and then it is fluorspar CaF2. These are the three things which are used as an electrolyte. What you're going to get over here will be molten aluminum will be formed over here. So this is Al, molten Al. Okay, the figure is anyway given over here, so you can, if you are finding it slightly shabby, then you can refer from the textbook also. Okay, so in the electrolyte, what is there in the electrolyte? First of all is consumed electrolyte is for extraction aluminum is alumina 1 part, craolite 3 parts, and fluorspar 1 part. Okay, so this is in the ratio of 1:3:1 by weight. Okay, this is by weight. The electrolytic cell, the rectangular steel tank is with carbon lining. So the cathode is the carbon lining, gas carbon of the cell. So that is the cathode lightning. And the anode are the carbon rods which are over here. The thick carbon rods, graphite attached to the copper clamp, dipped in the fused electrolyte. The temperature what is required for this particular whole thing is 950 degrees Celsius. Okay, and the current will be, so current which will be required will be equal to 100 amperes and at 6 to 7 volts. So 6 to 7 volts but 100 ampere, so that's a huge amount of current. So the reaction will be that craolite is going to give you dissociate into Na3 3Na plus Al plus F. Fluorosol will become Ca plus and F minus. Alumina will become Al3 plus O2. So this is what is important for us, that Al2O3 is going to become over here as 2Al3 plus 3O2 minus. So accordingly, this 3Al is going to be at the cathode. So at cathode, what is going to happen is going to be 2Al3 plus 6 electrons is going to give me Al. So it is going to give me 2Al, and finally at anode, it will be 3O2 minus 6E will give you as 3O2. So alumina ions are discharged in the presence of sodium and calcium ions due to its low position of the electrochemical series. So then we'll learn in detail about the electrolysis, that whatever is the in the reactivity series में भी कैसा था कि सोडियम ऊपर है, एल्यूमिनियम नीचे है, वैसे इसमें भी इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस में भी जो चीज़ नीचे है वो जल्दी डिस्चार्ज होंगे. So that's why aluminum being lower than calcium and magnesium, calcium and sodium in the reactivity series. That's why the chemical electrolytic series में भी वैसा ही है, तो it is lower down. So aluminum being lower, that's why it is going to be discharged first. So product formed as cathode will be pure aluminum metal, and anode में oxygen gas, or because oxygen gas gets reacted with the carbon anodes over here, so it may become carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide at the anode. Now we see the what are the important parts. Now this part is very, very important over here, because these are the give reason sort of questions. So let's understand one by one. Fused alumina is electrolytically reduced to alumina. So Al2O3 is highly stable oxide and aluminum has a strong affinity for oxygen. Hence Al2O3 can be reduced to aluminum electrolytically only and not by reducing agents. So first thing is that why we are using electrolysis and why we are not using anything else, because alumina, that is Al2O3, is having a strong affinity with oxygen. It does not give away its oxygen very easily, so it has to be used by electrolysis only. Second, what are the difficulties faced during electrolytic reduction of alumina? So now let's understand what are the difficulties. Why do we need to add this thing and this thing? अभी यही था तो ये use क्यों कर रहे हैं हम लोग? Why we are using this thing? That is the question. So the thing is that if we don't use this, what are the difficulties we are going to have? First thing, fused alumina is almost a non-electrolyte and has a melting point of around 2050 degrees Celsius. Al2. Now you can see Al2O3 has a melting point of 2050 degrees Celsius. Now, if I am going to do the electrolysis at 2050 degrees Celsius, aluminum खुद भी उतना temperature withstand नहीं करेगा and will vaporize. So I cannot do electrolysis at this temperature. Right? I need to cut it down. Plus, you cannot use that much amount of fuel for heating it to that temperature. So, alumina at such high temperature, a large amount of electrical energy is required to liberate Al from Al2O3 and to maintain the electrolyte in the molten state at that temperature. And liberated aluminum melting point is 660 degrees Celsius. The Al ka melting point is just 660 degrees Celsius. So, definitely at 2050 degrees, they are just going to vaporize. And so may also tend to volatilize out and get washed. Hence the fusion temperature of the electrolyte mixture has to be lowered. So the addition of this is required so as to lower the temperature of melting point of the alumina from 2050 degrees Celsius to lower temperature. So we are adding this thing. So that's right. Now we see why we add this thing. So first of all, why we are adding the fused cryolite and fluorspar? Why cryolite and fluorspar is added? Let's see one by one. Addition of mainly cryolite in the higher ratio and fluorspar, that is, lowers the fusion point of the mixture. That is, the mixture fuses, melts around 950 degrees Celsius instead of 2050 degrees Celsius. So that is the most important point, that Al2O3 जिसका temperature ये था, when I add this and this to it, it is automatically reducing the temperature from 2050 degrees Celsius to 950 degrees Celsius. So the melting point reduces from 2000 degrees Celsius, 2050 degrees Celsius to 950 degrees Celsius. That is the first part. That is mainly for higher amount of cryolite. Addition of cryolite and fluorspar also enhances the mobility of the fused mixture by acting as a solvent for the electrolytic mixture. Thus, cryolite in the molten state of subdivision dissolves aluminum oxide. So, what is happening is that when it is going to be this addition, it is, see, we understood that aluminum oxide, that is the aluminum oxide what we are using, pure alumina, is not a good conductor. It is not going to be easy for, it's a non-electrolyte as such. So, because it's a non-electrolyte, we need some kind of a agent so that it becomes a good electrolyte. So, this cryolite and fluorspar, when they add it to it, they give a good mobility to the aluminum oxide one. So that's why they enhance the mobility of the fused mixture by acting as a solvent in a electrolytic mixture. Now only cryolite ka ek advantage. Addition of cryolite enhances the conductivity of the mixture. So the conductivity, that is how the electricity is going to pass through it, the conductivity of the mixture is increasing by the cryolite. Since pure alumina is almost non-conductor of electricity, the compound in the electrolyte are thus Al2O3 and Na3AlF6 and CaF2. Charles Hall in 1886 thus resolved the difficulty faced during electrolytic reduction of alumina, and hence extraction of aluminum became simpler and consequently cheaper. So that is why all this process has become the most important part of extraction of aluminum. Now another thing what we are doing in this case is a layer of powdered coke is sprinkled over the electrolytic mixture. So over the electrolytic mixture over here, we are sprinkling a small amount of powdered coke on it. Why do we do that thing? A layer of powdered coke, it prevents burning of carbon electrodes in air at the emergence point of the bath and minimize or prevents heat loss by radiation. So when powdered coke is over here, तो ये जो कार्बन रॉड जो है, जो हीट अप हो सकते हो, बर्न आउट हो जाते हैं, उसको प्रोटेक्शन मिलेगा. एंड प्लस the carbon powder, which is going to be a bad conductor, it is not allowing the heat to radiate out. So the temperature, which is of 950 degrees, can be maintained easily when you are putting the carbon powdered coke on top of it. The next is, in this case, the anode needs to be continuously replaced. Okay, time and again, this anode is going to get washed out and it is going to need to be replaced. Why that so? The graphite anode are continuously replaced during the electrolysis. The oxygen evolved at the anode escapes as a gas and reacts with the carbon anode. The carbon anode is thus oxidized to carbon monoxide, which either burns giving carbon dioxide or escapes out through an outlet, that is C plus O2 give you CO or CO plus O2 give you CO2. The carbon anode is hence consumed and renewed periodically after a certain period of usage. It is therefore preferable to use a number of graphite electrodes as anode instead of single electrode. So you can see that we know that anode पे क्या मिलने वाला है? Oxygen. So oxygen is going to react with the carbon or rods over here, and oxygen and carbon will react to give you carbon dioxide, which is a gas. So gas is going to get evaporated. वहाँ से निकल जाएगा. तो गैस यहाँ से जैसे निकल जाएगा तो ऑटोमेटिकली ये क्या होगा? डिटोरेट होते जाएगा साइज में. And that is the reason you need multiple anode rods rather than just one single rod, because one single rod get washed out and it will stop the reaction completely. So ज़्यादा multiple रहेंगे तो you can keep on replacing one by one. And finally is that electrolytic reduction of alumina is a continuous process, and pure aluminum is produced at a cathode and being heavier than the electrolyte settles down. It is periodically removed through the outlet or tap at the base. As the concentrated of Al2O falls, the resistance of the bath increases, indicating a glow on a control lamp. At this moment, more alumina is added and the process continues. Aluminum obtained in almost 99.5% pure and can be further purified by Hope's process. So what we see over here is ये bulb रहता है. ये bulb क्या काम करेगा? As soon as the alumina content over here decreases, so that means यहाँ पे aluminum मिलने का बंद हो सकता है. So in such a case, the resistance of this decreases, and that will, the circuit is made in such a way that will glow this bulb. When this bulb glows, that indicates that this particular mixture has got reduction in the alumina present in it. Hence, more alumina is poured in, so that aluminum is going to keep on continuous. So that's why this process, once started, is going to be a continuous process. It is not that ये खत्म हो गया फिर next time किया फिर next time किया, ऐसा नहीं. Continuous process रहता है जहाँ पे नीचे से aluminum हम लोग निकालते जाएंगे and then more alumina is being added to it. So that is about the Hall-Héroult process. And lastly is the electro refining of the pure metal. That is an Hope apparatus. This is only for reference, it is not for learning. So it is just a simple process wherein you are going to refine it further. So in this case you have got a Hope apparatus, Hope's process, wherein the upper layer is molten aluminum with carbon electrodes serve as a cathode. Middle layer is cryolite, then that is BAF, that is barium fluoride, and aluminum fluoride and calcium fluoride, serves as an electrolyte. Lower layer, impure aluminum at bottom along with carbon lining acts as a anode. So electric reaction is going to take place where Al3 plus electrons will give you Al and at cathode, and at anode also you are going to get aluminum ions. So pure aluminum ions from middle layer discharged, and impure aluminum from lower layer enters into the middle layer. So नीचे से aluminum which is lighter is going to go up and the impure one will be settling down. So नीचे से impure आते जाएगा और pure होते जाएगा और ऊपर से वो उन लोग बाहर निकाल दे जाएंगे. So that is how the collection of pure aluminum 99.9% pure is withdrawn from the tapping hole at the top. Flow chart of the complete process is the bauxite is going to be Al2O3 plus 2H2O. Beer's process डाला NaOH के साथ में. Residue will be Fe2O3 and SiO2, and then aluminate, sodium aluminate is formed. उसको हाइड्रोलिसिस किया तो you get AlOH thrice. उसको ignite किया you get Al2O3. उसको Hall Hershovs प्रोसेस किया तो you get cathode पे 99% pure aluminum and oxygen at anode, and then you do Hobbs process to give you the pure aluminum 99.9% pure at the cathode. And the main equations are also given over here. So that is Al2O3.2H2O plus NaOH will give you AlO2 plus H2O. NaOH plus H2O will give NaOH plus AlOH thrice. AlOH thrice plus Al2O3 will give you H2O. You need to write the balancing also. Then comes the electrolytic reduction. Al2O3 will give you Al3 plus NO2 minus. Al3 plus 6E give you 2Al, and Al3O2 minus 6E gives you 3O2. And refining is electrolytic reduction process, about 99% pure Al, which can be further refined by Hobbs process to give 99.9% pure aluminum. So this was the extraction of the aluminum. Okay, I'll have a small video for the alloys also. Or better, I'll just continue in this part itself, or I'll just